Michael Darby was caught nearly naked in a Vegas hotel asking to be spanked. Big Papa financed Kim Zolciak's entire life, while his actual wife had no idea. Mistresses deliberately joining the same basketball team as the wife's kids. Real Housewives cheating scandals don't just end marriages, they detonate them in front of millions. Here are the wildest. The Real Housewives franchise has given us 15 years of cheating scandals that didn't just destroy relationships, they became cultural moments. These aren't your average breakup stories. These are affairs that played out on national television with receipts, screenshots, and sometimes actual police involvement. Let's break down the most shocking Real Housewives cheating scandals that left jaws on the floor and marriages in ruins. Before Instagram influencers were getting exposed for fake relationships, Kim Zolciak was living her best sugar baby life on national television with a married man worth $50 million, who was so desperate to keep his identity secret that they literally called him Big Papa for 2 entire seasons. Like this was some kind of witness protection program. Here's what makes this whole thing absolutely ridiculous. Big Papa was buying Kim everything. The white Range Rover, Big Papa. The townhouse in Atlanta, Big Papa. Her failed country music career where she sounded like a cat being strangled, you guessed it. Funded by Big Papa. Kim joined Real Housewives of Atlanta in season 1 as a single mother of 2 daughters living in a townhouse she didn't own, driving a car she didn't pay for, and refusing to work because her mystery boyfriend took care of everything. If he wanted me to be his girl, he was going to provide. I don't care if he was in federal prison, Kim declared on camera, somehow mixing up her boyfriends, but making her priorities crystal clear. The entire first season revolved around who Big Papa was and why he wouldn't show his face. Kim's castmates, Nene Leakes, Sherry Whitfield, Lisa Wu, and Deshaun Snow, all knew about him. They'd met him. They knew he was married. And they judged Kim for it constantly. Nene gave us one of the franchise's most iconic one-liners. Close your legs to married men. Close your legs to married men. She repeated it twice for emphasis while Kim sat there looking unbothered. But here's where it gets even better. During season 2, Big Papa proposed to Kim with a massive engagement ring. Kim accepted, fully believing he was getting divorced, and they'd live happily ever after in her townhouse that he paid for. Spoiler alert, he was absolutely not getting divorced. Kim was in too deep, though. Blinded by Range Rovers and rent-free living, she convinced herself that a man who wouldn't even show his face on camera was going to leave his wife and 2 kids for her. Eventually, Big Papa's identity was revealed as Lee Najjar, a married real estate developer. His wife allegedly had no idea he was playing sugar daddy on national television until fans tracked him down and exposed him online. The relationship ended shortly after his identity leaked. Kim later told People magazine in 2017 that she hadn't heard from Big Papa in years and was obsessed with Croy, her NFL player husband, but that marriage also ended in disaster. By 2023, Kim was divorcing Croy in an equally messy public spectacle involving bankruptcy, foreclosure, and custody battles over their kids. Kim went from being financially supported by a married millionaire to being supported by an NFL player to being broke and facing eviction. The pattern reveals everything. Luann de Lesseps met Tom D'Agostino in late 2015 through castmate Dorinda Medley. Red flag number 1, Tom had already dated not 1, but 2 of Luann's castmates, Ramona Singer and Sonia Morgan. But Luann was blinded by love, a giant engagement ring, and the fact that Tom was age-appropriate and financially stable. So she ignored the Greek chorus of warnings from literally everyone around her. In February 2016, Tom proposed. The proposal was romantic, the ring was gorgeous, and Luann was on cloud 9 planning her New Year's Eve wedding in Palm Beach. Then came the photo that changed everything. The very night before their engagement party, Tom was caught on camera making out with another woman at the Regency Hotel in Manhattan. And who delivered this devastating news to Luann? Bethany Frankel during a cast trip to Miami in a scene that became instant Housewives legend. "It's about Tom," Bethany said ominously, before showing Luann photos of her fiancé kissing another woman at the bar. "Wednesday night, so that's at the Regency. I'm showing you this because I'm your friend." Luann's face went through every emotion: shock, denial, anger, devastation. The cameras captured it all. But here's where the story gets even more interesting. Years later, Carol Radziwill claimed in the book Not All Diamonds and Rosé that Bethany orchestrated the whole thing. According to Carol, Bethany knew the woman Tom was cheating with and arranged for someone to photograph them together. Bethany got a picture of Tom kissing a girl at the Regency Hotel. It was a total setup, Carol revealed. Bethany knew this woman and found out that she was in contact with Tom. And Bethany was like, "The next time you go see him, text me." And that's what happened. Carol later revealed on a podcast that Michael Cohen, yes, Trump's former lawyer, was the one who actually took the photo. I thought, actually, production had set something up, but in a million years, I would not have thought that Michael Cohen was going to sit down at dinner and tell this whole story about how he took the picture. Carol admitted. Bethany denied everything. On her podcast, she asked, "How could I set up a photo? Am I in a movie I'm casting? Like, hey, Tom D'Agostino, I'd like to cast you in the role as cheater at the Regency Hotel." She insisted she never travels to Uptown Manhattan where the Regency is located and that she doesn't even know Tom well enough to coordinate something like that. Ramona Singer backed up Carol's story, saying Bethany totally planned that Tom thing. She knew what was going on and sent someone to photograph that. Luann always suspected something fishy. She later said, "I always felt like Bethany was trying to take me down," and called the whole situation her karma's a bitch moment when the setup allegations came out. But here's the craziest part. Luann married Tom anyway. The wedding was lavish, televised on Roni, and held on New Year's Eve 2016 in Palm Beach. Luann wore a stunning dress. Tom looked dapper in his tux, and for one night, everything seemed perfect. The marriage lasted 7 months. Tom kept calling ex-girlfriends, meeting up with them at bars, and generally acting like a man who'd been a bachelor for 50 years and had zero interest in changing his ways. In July 2017, Page Six reported the couple fighting publicly, with allegations that Luann slapped Tom at a restaurant. She went on Watch What Happens Live and called it a passionate love affair, with lovers' quarrels. Translation: disaster. The final straw came right before the Season 9 reunion. Tom went out for drinks, called an old girlfriend, met up with her and a group of people, and Luann found out about it the next day in the press. It was like the weekend before the reunion, basically, Luann told Andy Cohen. And Tom went out and he called up an old girlfriend and they met up with a group of people. And I didn't know about it. I found out about it the next day in the press. So that, for me, was like the final straw. She filed for divorce in August 2017, less than 8 months after their New Year's Eve wedding. At the Season 10 reunion, a divorced Luann apologized to Bethany. "Between you and I just want to say that I should have heeded your warning. I just couldn't see. I was in love and love is blind. You were fucking right." Luann later admitted she should have seen the big red flag of that Regency photo. "But I loved him, and I chose to forgive him. I thought, if you can't forgive the people you love, then who can you forgive?" she explained. "And I know that it wasn't an affair. It wasn't an affair, it was a kiss. It wasn't right, but I chose to give him the benefit of the doubt. But looking back, it's a major character flaw." Whether Bethany orchestrated the photo or not, Tom was absolutely cheating. The setup allegations just added another layer of drama to an already messy situation. Mario Singer spent over 20 years married to Ramona Singer, happily playing the supportive husband on Roni while she built her wine empire and perfected her crazy eyes. In 2013, he threw it all away for a 27-year-old personal trainer named Casey Dexter, who he met in the Hamptons. The affair was public, messy, and absolutely devastating for Ramona. Here's how it went down. Ramona caught Mario and Casey at their Southampton home in January 2014. Casey was upstairs putting her clothes away in the guest bedroom like she owned the place. Ramona burst through the door and called the police. Casey sat shaking at the top of the stairs calling her mom, while cops told her to grab her stuff and leave immediately. But the truly wild part? Casey admitted years later that she wasn't even in the guest bedroom when Ramona caught them. She was in the marital bed. Red-Handed doesn't even begin to cover it. Mario was so brazenly disrespectful that he got Casey an apartment while still trying to fix his marriage. This led to Ramona texting Casey asking, "How much is the rent? How much is he spending on you?" The humiliation for Ramona was unbearable. She filed for divorce in 2014, which was finalized in 2016. The entire painful process played out on Roni, with Ramona crying in confessionals about how Mario destroyed their 20-year marriage for a girl half his age. Mario and Casey stayed together after the divorce. He spoiled her for years, took her to the Hamptons regularly, and they seemed settled into their relationship. But here's where it gets absolutely delicious. Mario told Casey he'd never marry her or have kids with her. He got a vasectomy behind her back without telling her. He allegedly told her she was only good for fake tits and fake lips, and emotionally abused her throughout their relationship. Casey claims he even fractured her hand during one altercation. So, Casey did what any woman would do in that situation. She cheated on him with her boss, who made her feel beautiful and wanted. She fell in love, and Mario found out on Christmas 2017 using a hidden camera he'd installed in their West Palm Beach home. The irony of the man who cheated on his wife of 22 years installing a hidden camera to catch his mistress cheating is genuinely chef's kiss. Mario lost his mind. He woke Casey up with eviction papers taped to her door, gave her 30 days to move out, and told her he wanted to ruin her life and bring her down. When she didn't leave fast enough, he called the police on February 1st, 2018. The cops showed up, confirmed it was a verbal argument, and told them to sleep in separate bedrooms. Casey ended up living out of bags, unable to go back to the apartment without a police escort to get her belongings because Mario threatened to have her arrested for trespassing. The best part? Mario allegedly offered Casey thousands of dollars to vacate quickly, but never actually paid her. She later said she resented him for evicting her and getting nothing in their divorce. Meanwhile, Ramona was out there living her best life, dating younger men, thriving on Roni, and watching karma do its thing from a safe distance. Justice served. Kelsey and Camille Grammer married in 1997 at the height of his Frasier fame. They had 2 kids, Jude and Mason, multiple mansions featured in Architectural Digest, and by all appearances, the perfect Hollywood marriage. Except Kelsey later claimed it was pretty much over as soon as it began, and he only stayed because he didn't want a 3rd divorce on his record. Romantic. In December 2009, Kelsey met Kate Walsh, a British flight attendant 25 years his junior, on a flight to London. He described it as a magical night in the snow around Christmas time. What he didn't mention was that he was still very much married to Camille and had been for 12 years. The affair continued for months while Kelsey was in New York working on Broadway. It got so serious that the doorman at his Manhattan apartment thought Kate was Mrs. Grammer because she visited so frequently. When Camille showed up to visit her husband, she had to show ID to prove who she was. Humiliating doesn't even begin to cover it. Many people believe Kelsey pushed Camille to join Real Housewives of Beverly Hills as a way to distract from his affair and set up their divorce. He later admitted on Piers Morgan's show that the show was his parting gift to her, saying, "Look, you always wanted to be famous. Here you go." The condescension is breathtaking. When Camille finally confronted him about the affair, he initially refused to talk. Then he ended their 13-year marriage over the phone with 5 brutal words: "I don't want to be married anymore." Camille filed for divorce in July 2010. The entire brutal process played out on ARC OBH Season 1, with Camille revealing the affair, the heartbreak, and Kelsey's coldness. When she asked about their children, he allegedly said, "They'll get over it." When she started crying, he told her to grow up. The man who played a compassionate psychiatrist on TV for 11 years had zero empathy for his wife of over a decade. The divorce was finalized on February 10th, 2011. 2 weeks later, on February 25th, 2011, Kelsey married Kate. 2 weeks. The speed alone was insulting. They've since had 4 children together and appear happy, though Kate convinced Kelsey to get her name tattooed near his groin as an ownership thing, an anti-cheating measure. Because nothing says healthy relationship like a $60 tattoo proving you're signed and owned. Camille walked away with $30 million in the settlement. Thank God she didn't have a prenup. She's used Arch OBH as a platform to drag Kelsey whenever possible, suggesting he was a cross-dresser and making crude jokes about her new boyfriend being 8 inches different from Kelsey in certain departments. Kelsey fired back, calling her pathetic for constantly talking about him. The bitterness continues years later, proving that some divorces never truly end. David and Shannon Bedore had been married for 14 years when David met Nicole McMacken in September 2013 at an elite business networking group called Young Presidents Organization. They hit it off immediately and started a secret affair that lasted 8 months. But here's where it gets absolutely diabolical. Nicole deliberately enrolled her daughter on the same basketball team as Shannon's daughter, a team that David coached. She started attending games, striking up conversations with Shannon, asking about her marriage, playing the concerned friend. The entire time she was sleeping with Shannon's husband in hotels around Newport Beach. The psychological manipulation is genuinely sociopathic. Shannon started suspecting something was wrong when she caught David whispering to someone on the phone. In April 2014, she searched his briefcase and found hotel receipts stuffed inside. She confronted him, and David admitted to the affair. What made it worse? One of those hotel nights was Shannon's 50th birthday. He spent his wife's milestone birthday in a hotel with his mistress. The devastation was complete. David actually left Shannon for 2 weeks during the affair. When he came back to pick up the kids from school one day, he handed their daughter Stella his wedding ring and told her to give it to Shannon because he didn't want it anymore. He made his child deliver the message that he was done with their marriage. The cruelty is staggering. Shannon wanted to know who the mistress was, but decided not to confront her, choosing instead to focus on saving her marriage. When she found out it was Nicole, the woman she'd been friendly with at basketball games, the betrayal deepened exponentially. The couple decided to be open about the affair on RHOC Season 10, hoping it would help other couples going through similar situations. Instead, it became one of the most painful storylines in franchise history. Shannon's emotional breakdown was heartbreaking to watch. She gained 40 pounds from stress. She tried everything to save the marriage: therapy, vow renewals, the works. Shannon and David renewed their vows in 2016 at the same place they got married. For a moment, it seemed like they might actually make it. But the damage was too deep. The trust was too broken, the humiliation too public. In October 2017, after 17 years of marriage, Shannon announced their separation. She later revealed that David had emotionally checked out, and she felt alone in the relationship. David moved on immediately, meeting his now-wife Leslie at SoulCycle just months after the split. They married in 2020 and have a daughter together. Shannon is still single as of 2025, focusing on her 3 daughters and her time on RHOC. But the scars from David's affair with the basketball mom remain visible years later. Apollo Nida was days away from reporting to federal prison for bank fraud when he went through his wife Phaedra Park's phone and found text messages from a contact saved as Mr. Chocolate. The messages were allegedly explicit and romantic. Apollo claimed they included things like, "I can't wait to see you. I miss you. Can't wait for you to spank me. You know how I like it." And the absolutely devastating "off the plantation," suggesting Phaedra was counting down the days until Apollo went to prison so she could be free. Apollo immediately called Peter Thomas, Cynthia Bailey's husband, and showed him the printed text messages. Peter later confirmed to Cynthia what he saw, saying Apollo was making threats and acting like he was going to do something crazy. The information spread through the RHOA cast like wildfire, and by the time it got to Kenya Moore, she was ready to weaponize it. At a dinner party, Kenya confronted Phaedra about Mr. Chocolate in front of everyone. Phaedra's response? She went full Atlanta and swung her purse at Kenya, nearly hitting her. "The man that you've been sleeping with!" Kenya shouted while Phaedra lunged across the table. The reunion was absolute chaos. Phaedra denied everything, claiming the texts were totally false, absolutely crazy and made up by Apollo, whose entire prison sentence was based on lying and fraud. The identity of Mr. Chocolate remained a mystery for years. Speculation ran wild. Was he real? Was it an emotional affair? A full physical relationship? In 2019, Andy Cohen casually dropped a bomb on Watch What Happens Live, suggesting that Mr. Chocolate was Jamal Bryant, Giselle Bryant's ex-husband from RCHOP. When Andy mentioned it to Giselle, she just said yeah and thought it was funny. But Phaedra herself denied it in 2022, saying, "There was no Mr. Chocolate. I like chocolate, but I'm more of a caramel latte type of girl." To this day, the true identity of Mr. Chocolate remains one of the franchise's greatest unsolved mysteries. Phaedra and Apollo divorced in 2017 after Apollo was released from prison, and she's never publicly addressed the scandal beyond her denials. Michael Darby might have the most documented cheating scandals in Housewives history, and that's saying something. Ashley and Michael married in 2014 after meeting when Ashley bartended at his nightclub in D.C. He was 29 years older, wealthy, and Australian. From the start, RHOP showed cracks in their foundation. In May 2019, just months after Ashley gave birth to their first son, Dean, photos leaked of Michael naked in a Las Vegas hotel room with another woman. Not just cozy, completely naked. Then a video surfaced showing Michael in boxer briefs, asking the woman to spank him. Additional footage showed them at what appeared to be a hotel bar, drinking and hanging out together. Michael's explanation? He just fell asleep, and the woman took photos without his knowledge or consent. Ashley believed him, or at least she said she did on camera. But wait, there's more. Before the Vegas scandal, Michael was charged with felony assault and misdemeanor improper sexual contact after allegedly grabbing and groping our top cameraman Orville Palmer's butt at Monique Samuel's baby shower on September 1st, 2018. The charges were dismissed in October 2018 due to insufficient evidence, but the damage to Michael's reputation was done. Michael denied everything, despite it being the second groping incident caught on camera. During season 1, he grabbed former cast member Katie Rost's ex-fiancé Andrew Martin's butt on camera. There were also persistent rumors about Michael being on Grindr and Robin Dixon revealing Michael's alleged attraction to her husband, Juan Dixon. The sexuality speculation followed Michael throughout his RCHOP tenure, with Ashley constantly defending him and making excuses. Ashley finally filed for legal separation in 2023 after welcoming their second son Dylan in 2021. By then, she'd spent nearly a decade defending a man who repeatedly disrespected her, their marriage, and their family. The separation came after years of humiliation, cheating allegations, and Ashley finally realizing that love isn't enough when respect is completely absent. From Big Papa's sugar baby arrangement to Michael Darby's Vegas hotel scandal, Regency hotel setups to basketball mom mistresses, these cheating scandals destroyed marriages on national television. Some housewives forgave, some divorced, but all of them gave us unforgettable drama. Which scandal shocked you most? Comment below and subscribe for more.